A few weeks ago I went on a CEX game hunt in Newcastle and found this absolute fantastic copy of Tetris DX. However, during the hunt there was another game, Link's Awakening DX, and since then it's kind of haunted me. I've went on other CEX pickups, I've picked up more games for the GameCube collection, but this game, well, I kind of felt I wanted it. The more I thought about it, the more I was feeling I was missing out. FOMO. And of course, I picked up an analog pocket. And with these two, I thought it was time. It was time to go on another quest. A time to right what I skipped before and get that Link's Awakening where it deserves to be. On my shelf, in my collection. CEX number 1, and oh, it's still there. It's still there. Sitting out in the sun. Yeah, that's going to get sun damage very quickly. Right, let's look at condition and pick this one up, shall we? Absolutely chuffed to bits to have The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX in my collection. This is one of those titles that I just couldn't justify when I was younger. I had the original version on the Game Boy. This version, well, would you call it a remaster? Do we have remasters at that point? I would argue maybe yes. It comes in the full colour, full colour based on Game Boy Color version, and also has Game Boy printer support. You can print stuff off using the Game Boy printer, and a new colour dungeon which could only be played on the colour cartridges. Or could it? Actually, you can play this on the original Game Boy as well. It's just, well, you can't really play through the colour dungeon at all. It's very difficult to do. And honestly, depending on the day of the week, you could ask me, this would be my favourite game of all time, or potentially Ocarina of Time. It's always going to be a Zelda. This blew me away. A full adventure on a little tiny cartridge. It made me think. I got stuck on Bottle Grotto for so long, until one fateful holiday I managed to somehow beat it. I don't even know where I was going wrong with it. And completed the game. I have so much nostalgia for this one. I play this game very frequently. I replayed it time and time again, both on the Game Boy and the Switch re-release. But having this, it just makes things feel a little bit more complete. I'm chuffed to bits to own this version. Chuffed to bits. And what's interesting as well is this was actually owned by the same person who owned that Tetris DX. So in some ways, I've kind of just bought their collection, and I've kept their save on there because interestingly enough, they are stuck at Bottle Grotto, and that just gave me a huge nostalgic pushback into my childhood. Box itself is fine enough. It was sat in the window. That thing was going to get sun faded very quickly. Not the best box, but definitely better than the other one, I would argue. But the quest wasn't over that day. I thought I'd go to a new CEX, a CEX I've never been to before, because I noticed they had some N64 box games that I needed for my collection. Games I didn't even own. Let's see what happens. Brand new CEX store in CEX Cramlington. I've never been to this one. It's a little bit out of the way just to check on what games there is. But from what I understand, there's some very nice N64 cardboard in here, along with a few Game Boy games. So let's have a look and see what they've got. PlayStation section looking pretty nice, and moving straight into the retro. Oh, Switches galore. A few Super Nintendo titles here and there, and I can see them N64 games on the side. Metroid as well. I don't own Metroid. I don't actually own an NES. Do you own an NES, or did you get to it after that? N64 games, well, what have we got here? We've got Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, we've got Snowboard Kids, we've got Aero Gauge, and we've got All-Star Baseball 99. I'm going to be honest, I can see from this view here that these are not going to be in the best condition. But, well, we're going to have to ask and see them a little bit better, aren't we?
Let's have a look and see what else I've got. First up, the Wii. Don't really look at Wii much, but nice little collection right here. Metroid Prime 3, always nice to see that one. Switch, everything just seems bunched together. This is a very small CEX, a very small one indeed, and it's the usual suspects, not really hugely different to what we see elsewhere. Just the usual titles, you know, the Legos, the Zeldas, the Marios, Minecraft, Mario Kart, Luigi's Mansion. I think I've talked about Luigi's Mansion every single time we see it. Nothing too exciting. I did see this one, however. Namco Arcade Pack. Now, this is something that is somewhat on my list. I'm going to be honest. Owning Namco games, some of the arcade games, isn't anything new. I've got an Evercade. I've got them on the Evercade. The interesting part about this one is that this does have Pac-Man vs. 2 on here. A game that I absolutely adore and is one of the very few download-only games I have on the Nintendo Switch. I play it every now and again and it's always addicting. It's an absolutely fantastic game if you love Pac-Man. £25 is a little bit expensive for what I kind of wanted for, to simply have a physical version of a beloved game. So I think this is going to be a miss at this point. Nothing else really capturing my fancy, and at this point I'm in the back of my mind, if I'm going to be buying these N64 games, we're going to already have a very expensive day. So we maybe can't afford to buy many Switch games, if any. Ori the Collection. Now, I do own this one, but it's always a nice one to see. A few others there. Triangle Strategy, I can see at the very bottom here. It's a very good game. Definitely worth picking up. Something that might be somewhat rarer to find in the near future. Oh, here they are, at the bottom of the Wii shelf. Now, what have we got? WWE Day of Reckoning. I do need that one. Don't see this one too often. The second one is a bit harder to find. Serious Sam for the GameCube. Definitely what I want for my collection here. Few others. Disney Mickey Mouse, Charlie's Angels, Spider-Man 2. If this is complete, this is definitely coming home with me.
So, Cramlet and CEX was interesting. Quite a small CEX. There was a few things I was looking for and I just couldn't find, but some of the things was kind of like, and you know when you kind of get an initial impression, yeah. So, N64 games, Aero Gauge, Mystical Ninja, which I do own, I just can't remember if I still have the box for, and Snowboard Kids. I own Mystical Ninja, so I wasn't really interested in that. Snowboard Kids and Aero Gauge were both titles I wanted in the collection, and I couldn't justify them boxes. I mean, I might have been a bit of a snob, but they weren't in great condition. That Aero Gauge, when they pulled it out, kind of just fell apart. Snowboard Kids was already damaged before they... as soon as they pulled it out, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I'm not fussed about that one. Aero Gauge, I was kind of tempted with because it was an uncommon game, but it's also an uncommon game that isn't particularly supposed to be great. Yeah, so I held off on them. But I did pick up some GameCube games. So I picked up WWE Day of Reckoning. Box case for this again is not in great condition. It does have the WWE sticker on. This game was the first WWE game that I skipped. I was really into WWE in the late Attitude Invasion kind of era. But this is kind of when I stopped. So I picked this up, I played it, I was just like, because this is like the same controls as WWE No Mercy, and I was just like, oh yeah, brilliant, I'll enjoy this, and I have been enjoying it. Career mode is very interesting because you create your own character, then you do stuff with that. So it's not as easy as just picking your favourite superstar and playing through as that as the other games, but yeah, yeah. Fine purchase, happy with that. Yeah, box is a little bit damaged, but it was a cheap enough game. The other game was Serious Sam, The Next Encounter. I don't know why I haven't taken the sticker off this one, and I've done it for WWE. I think it was because WWE, the box was in backwards for some reason. Serious Sam, this game is brilliant. I've sunk about 3 or 4 hours into it, so I'm probably about halfway through the campaign. Serious Sam is one of those games where it's just so easy to pick up and play. Just shoot as many things as possible, kill things on a first-person shooter game. I'm not huge on first-person shooter games, but this one, I don't know why, this franchise just really stuck out with me. Maybe it was the art design, the art direction for it. But yeah, I had a really good time for it, and I'm really chuffed I picked this one up. It kind of made that whole experience not wasted, being able to pick up 2 games. I nearly picked up another one. Spider-Man 2 was missing its manual. I see this game all the time, and it's starting to annoy me because I just can't find a copy of this game with the manual. Or if I do, the game doesn't work. For such a common game, it's such an annoying one to get complete. This GameCube collection is starting to get more difficult than I thought.
Last CEX, as well, I was on the way back from Newcastle. Why not? Let's have a pop in and see what they've got, shall we? Oh, that other Zelda's gone. Oh, Superman 64 as well. Oh, I do need that game though. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got. A few N64 titles, a few Super Nintendo. A few titles here that I don't see often. Super Empire Strikes Back and Super Mech Warrior. Very tempted with them. I don't collect Super Nintendo, but I do want to add a few more to the collection. Is this the D I Get Killer 7? What have we got in GameCube? Not much here. The usual cover reprinted shenanigans. Not really much else at this point.
So yeah, that's not all. On the way back, I went to Newcastle CEX, the other one. I just thought, you know, I'm on the way back. I was like, I'll have a pop in and see what's there. Not much had really changed since last time, but there was a game I was kind of interested in. Now, I don't really collect Super Nintendo. I've got a good enough collection of Super Nintendo. I don't really need to kind of keep buying games for. But this one was only £4, so I thought I'd try it. Mech Warrior. And oh yeah, I didn't buy it. Well, actually, I did buy it, but yeah, there's a little bit of a story here. So, you can see in the footage, it's not great footage, it's kind of at the back. £4 for Mech Warrior. I thought, you know what? Something a little interesting game to put in the collection, I'll pick it up. Got to the checkout and scanned through at £10. But they didn't mention it. They just came in. I looked at the receipt and I was just like, this says £10. I'm like, oh yes, £10. It's scanned up at £10. Like, the sticker literally says £4. And they're like, oh well, that's an old sticker and he's changing and stuff like that. And you're like, all right, well, I was like, I don't want it. I mean, yeah, it's £10 is probably still a good deal for it, but I'm not paying £6 more just because you guys haven't updated the stickers. I mean, if it was like £6 or whatever, it was just a little bit of a change. Yeah, fair enough, but I think £6 difference is a big change, especially when you have the stickers already on the cartridges. It's not like you just check the things on eBay and change the price there. Not happy with that. So I got the refund and I was a little bit annoyed, but then there was a game that kind of stuck out in the corner of my eye and I was just like, is it time? This game is... I've avoided this game because it's not a good one. But I bought one of the greatest Nintendo handheld games of all time, one of my favourite games of all time. So I thought it was high time to buy the worst Nintendo game of all time. Superman 64. I'm going for a full collection. It was going to have to be in the collection. And honestly, this is a really nice copy of the game. It's one of those games where it's expensive because it's infamous. But it's also one that's kind of like, yeah, if you're going for a full N64 collection, you're going to have to buy it eventually. I don't really want to have the boxed version because it's like very, very expensive. And it's like, you know what, I'm just getting obviously the money back off that. I was like, I'll just pay the difference and get that. Yeah, I paid full price for it really, but it's Superman 64. And what can I say about Superman 64? It's bad. It's very, very bad. And this is one of the things that kind of gripes me a little bit because people are like, games are always fantastic when back in my day, games were always complete. And I'm just like, yeah, then there's Superman 64. This game's complete. This game doesn't have day 1 patches. Is there an alternative world where this game had a day 1 patch and was somehow turned into a good game? Oh, imagine that. That's just a sci-fi. That's just a sci-fi series waiting to happen, isn't it? The course of history has changed because Superman 64 turned out to be the greatest game of all time. Yeah. But yeah, it's been an interesting day of hunting. I've gotten some good games, I've gotten a fantastic game, I've gotten an awful game. I just feel like there's just been so many little things, and that's just, again, one of the interesting things of going game hunting. You never know what's going to happen. If you like this, leave a like, consider subscribing. Let me know, have you ever bought something and had the price changed on you when you've tried to pay for it? Let me know. And what's your favourite handheld game of all time? Or what's your favourite game of all time? Let me know. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.